So this is part one of how to build the trig ratio calculator, or at least one way in which to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot a straight line defined by 2 points. Constantly referring back to my pointer, make my mouse a pointer, to remind myself that these features I add are dynamic, so I can change them once I've created them. The next thing is the crucial part of the construction, which is the angle. I'm going to use the slider tool to create an angle. Click on the page where I want it and the window appears. I'm going to ask for an angle. I'm happy with the Greek letter alpha, and I'm just going to change the maximum to 90 degrees, going up in an increment of 1 degree. That's fine. Apply. Make my mouse a pointer. I can see I've got a slider there, which is effectively a variable I can use in my construction now, going from 0 to 90 degrees. So, the next thing is the next side of my triangle. So, for that I'm going to use the rotation tool. Rotate object around point by angle. So, I'm going to rotate this straight line around this point. I'm going to delete that 45-degree angle and ask the program to use alpha, which is the variable I created over here, and counterclockwise is fine. So you can now see a new line, make my mouse a pointer, whose position varies according to my angle alpha. So that's the dynamic element of the variable there. So effectively this angle here is now alpha. So now for the third side of my triangle, for which I will need the perpendicular line tool. I want a line that is perpendicular to this line, and I want it to go through point B. Make my mouse a pointer. You can now see the way in which I change the size of the triangle. And I can change the angle again by using that one there. So you can see all the construction lines I used to make the triangle. So now for the triangle itself, which I can get using the polygon tool, and by clicking on the 3 points that make the triangle, and of course back to where I started. Okay, and now again you can just see there's the triangle moving, varying with the angle. Last thing to do is to hide the construction lines, which I will do by right clicking on them and unticking the show object box. Right click, untick, right click, untick. So there we go, that's part one. You can see that I have now created my triangle. It's a right angle triangle whose angle I can vary using that tool there. So, tune in for part two on how to measure the sides and calculate with them.